This is a tale of redemption, a tale of victory, a victory achieved through many hardships, one that will be remembered forever. Well, at least by me. Hello, my name is Joule, and this is how I beat my very first Pokemon Nuzlocke. Let's get started. So the TLDR, if you're unfamiliar with what a Nuzlocke is, it basically involves playing Pokemon games using a self-imposed rule set to make them more challenging and exciting to play. I've actually left a very helpful Bulbapedia article in the description that I personally used when I was originally setting up my Nuzlocke rules, just in case you want to learn more and do one yourself. As you can see on screen, these are all the rules we played by. A few of these rules you may notice are highlighted. That's because this was a hardcore Nuzlocke, which applies a stricter set of rules for us to abide by. Fun fact, we've never actually done what would be considered a normal Nuzlocke. Every attempt was done using this exact rule set, mostly because I'm stubborn. For now, let's go ahead and get started. We'll talk a bit more in depth about things as we go along. We begin our journey just like any other person does, with a loving mom, an absent dad, and a PC full of rare candies. Unfortunately, as much as we get off to the side of these glorious level-granting sweets, we know deep down inside they'll never truly fill the Pokemon-shaped holes in our hearts. So you know what? Let's fix that. After watching the professor get attacked by a wild animal, it's time to pick our starter. But wait! There's more. There's one additional rule I left out, and it's that we play all of our Nuzlockes without actually being able to pick our starter for ourselves. Our starter is determined by the last number in our trainer ID. If the number is 1 through 3, we roll grass. 4 through 6 is fire, 7 through 9 is water, with 0 being player choice. Fun fact, out of all the runs we've done, we've never actually rolled a 0. Yeah, I know, you hate to see it. We check our ID, and it's a 2, so that means Trico's our companion for this journey. Our little green bundle of joy, aptly named Kiwi, because this run is a fruit run, and boy do we love fruit. So you may have noticed the sprites look a bit different in this game. That's because we're playing an Emerald ROM hack called Complete Hoenn Edition. I'll leave a link for it in the description in case you're curious. It does as the name suggests and gives us access to the entire regional dex, the keyword being regional. It reinserts any version exclusive mons from Ruby and Sapphire that were left out of Emerald back into their respective routes, and eliminates trade evolutions from the game completely by making them level, happiness, or stone based instead. Additionally, there are some nice quality of life changes like the sprites being updated to their Gen 5 versions and being able to run indoors. But the important thing about this ROM hack is that it makes all of its changes without completely altering the vanilla experience. This isn't about getting items or Pokemon that we otherwise shouldn't be able to obtain, like running into a wild Totodile holding a Sacred Ash or something. This is still very much vanilla Emerald, which was the intention. So, back to our journey. Our first target is Roxanne, the Rustboro gym leader. Now, because we rolled a Trico, we've basically already won that badge. Since that was already covered, it became important for us to start planning a few gyms ahead. Insert Tailo. This little beast, who for some reason is always way too difficult to find, has a little ability called Guts, an ability that boosts Tailo's attack by 50% when it has a status ailment like poison or paralysis. This thing slaps just about anything in its way, and it's a huge easy mode toggle for Brawly in Gym 2. Then there's Nincada. Now, you might be thinking, oh okay, the old Shedinja trick? Yeah, good one, Joule. No, hold on a sec. In fact, it's quite the opposite, because we don't plan on using either of its evolutions. You see, Nincada just so happens to be a ground type, which makes it an ideal pivot choice when going up against Watson in Gym 3. We'll talk a bit more about pivots later. The point is that it's the earliest of two chances that we have of getting a ground type before then. And honestly, I feel like if we can afford to get it now, we should. In the meantime, let's see if we can get the RNG gods to grace us with some good encounters and shrink the pool of available Pokemon. Alright, Tailo, here we go. You're not Tailo. Alright, Tailo. You're also not Tailo. Well, Beautiful Eye's gonna have to do. Now I'm a little worried about Nincada because we can also run into Tailo on this route. I'll be honest, feeling pretty lucky right now. Anyways, let's get this gym badge. You're gone, and you're gone. Badge get. And Kiwi evolved. Guess that's it for Rustboro. Oh, and we ran into May. Well, I guess we ran through May. Gosh, that poor Torchic. Anyway, it's Deeper time. So we go about catching a few more Pokemon at first, mostly out of fear that Beautifly won't be enough. The first of which is a Makuhita, who we name Orange. Sadly, though, that rules out the chance of running into a Geodude, which was our second chance at a ground type, like I mentioned earlier. We continued just past Slateport looking for a Plusle or Minun, but instead stepped on this Oddish. Sorry, Oddish. At that point, we have nothing left to do but spend our entire allowance on soda and train up, because it's gym time. Now, admittedly, I'm a little worried that something stupid is going to happen involving Brawly's Makuhita. More often than not, it fails to disappoint, so, we'll see. We're putting all our Talo eggs into our Beautifly basket, so hopefully this is enough. Done, and oh my god, done. Badge get. I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting Beautifly to be doing as much damage as it did. I knew we had a good fighting resistance, but sheesh, what a gust. I guess, Makuhita's defense is pretty low also, but I don't know, whatever. I'm happy with these results. Onward to Mauville. But first, another fight with Mei, and this time, we know she's packing heat. Here's the plan. We go for a careful lead with our Gyarados Dragon Fruit to weaken her Wingle's attack with Intimidate. After which, we can swap over to our Loudred Grape to howl up and pound it into the dirt. Bait out her Combuskin, we can swap out again and repeat the process. At least that's what would have happened, but I had a millisecond lapse of brain activity and accidentally hit Uproar, thinking it was Pound, leaving Grape completely stuck in battle. Goodbye, Grape. We didn't quite need you, but we didn't really need you to die either. Alright, boys, do the thing. We get off the double Intimidate and go to work on the rest of our team. Easy clap. So technically this is our first loss, but we held on to Loudred specifically to use for sack material. Completely avoidable, yes, I know, but in a way it's still kinda according to plan? I don't know. Anyway, after giving our first death an improper burial, we make it to Mauville. We steal a bike and trip some kid named Wally on our way to the gym. Sorry, dude, didn't see you there. Nice routes. Alright, Watson, our team comp isn't the best, but hopefully we can make our defense an offense. We start off with Intimidate to lower the potential self-destruct damage on his Voltorb. The safe assumption is that he goes for an electric move, but the AI has fooled me before, so we send out Fig, our Nuzleaf, to face tank the would-be explosion. Spark hits and we get paralyzed. Unfortunate, but not the end of the world. After a quick exchange, we swap in and out with our Nincada Longan. We decide at this point we want to try and bait out the self-destruct, which we do. Thanks, Fig. You did your job well. I just would have guessed that his Electrike would be next, so we threw Dragon Fruit out for another Intimidate and swapped back out to Longan to guarantee that he'd waste turns howling his attack back up. It's a pretty simple strategy, but it just kind of works every time. We get paralyzed again, but we don't care. Now for Magneton. We know we won't see Shock or Thunder Wave, leaving only Sonic Boom and Supersonic. We need to get Sonic Boom. We swap back and forth with Orange until he finally goes for it. As long as we don't start off confused, we can punch through Magneton just fine, so this is perfect. Alright, it's ace time. We pivot for the Shockwave and begin the ultra strat of intimidating his attack stats so low that only a crit could save him. Now this is the benefit of having Nincada, as his Manectric has to stop howling to try and shock our Gyarados, only to fail every time, making his howls worthless. We hop over to our Gloom Leechy, who at this point should survive just about anything, and drop a Poison Powder. From there we spam Acid, getting a defense drop in the process, and stealing us a win. Badge get. Not the cleanest strat in the world, but you saw those Intimidate pivots. We're here to fight dirty. We celebrate another job well done by adding another fruit to the expired bin that I still don't realize is misspelled. And now, onward. So we had to break this rock to progress, and the rock got mad. We caught a few more Mons, but nothing could prepare me for
Not
this.
expecting anything.
Whoa! Let's go! In all of our previous runs, we had never once gotten a Skarmory as our encounter on Route 113. And it finally happened. Problem is, we only had 5 Great Balls to make this full metal bird ours. And I wasn't backing down from this. Unfortunately, though, humankind cannot gain anything without first giving something in return. We got desperate, and we lost Leechy trying to land a Sleep Powder. This, while not being a real game changer by any means, would be our first actual casualty. One that wasn't planned, and it was a shame. But, due to the law of equivalent exchange, we'd get us our Skarmory. On the last ball. One more for the Pirate Fruit bin. Next, we run over to Ruin Team Magma's Day. I get it. I'd be upset if I lost a Dragon Rage too. Anyways, it's gym time. Our strategy for Flannery's team is pretty straightforward. We lead off with our Tentacool Pomegranate and lay waste to her first set of Mons. We failed to take out Camerupt in one shot, so she manages to get off a Sunny Day, which is a bit worrisome, but it's nothing we aren't prepared for. We get a few shots in before swapping over to Orange. She paralyzes us, but we're still able to slap the Wide Herb out of her hands, so it's a win in my book. Not wanting anything else to happen to Orange, we swap over to Coconut, our recently acquired Golem, to tank what I assumed was an incoming Overheat. Now, the fact that it was a Sunlight boosted Overheat kinda slipped my mind, so it ended up doing a lot more damage than I expected. Now, realistically, the smarter move would have been swapping over to our Azumarill Blueberry with better special defense and thick fat on top of a fire resist, but I didn't want anything stupid to happen, and I saw Golem as expendable at the time. Anyway, with no White Herb to reset her stats, we swap over to Blueberry to finish the job. Badge get! Before running back to Petalburg, we grab ourselves a Claw Fossil. Whether we ended up using it or not, Armaldo is one of my favorite Pokemon of all time, and you'd be dead wrong if you thought I was going to leave it behind. Finally, the time has come to face our father, Norman. We lead off with our Skarmory, Mango, and try to look out with an Air Cutter crit. Took 2 attempts, but we land it, and that's what we like to see. Next up is his Vigoroth. We swap out to cut his attack a bit and to ditch the confusion, then swap back for more Air Cutter. We spam our way into his Linoon, who unfortunately manages to get a Belly Drum off. Now this is bad. We need to deal with this ASAP. We swap over to Dragon Fruit to try and cut its attack a bit and lessen its boost, and get one shot. Our second unfortunate loss. Honestly, I still don't know what the answer could have been to avoid losing someone at this point. His non-crits could 2-shot Skarmory, and Skarmory has higher defense than Golem. Like, we needed to cut his attack. The only real shame is that we didn't have Mightyena there to do it instead, who is significantly more expendable than Gyarados, but either way, I guess we managed to do it. The next thing I try is using our newly acquired Wobbuffet, Papaya. It doesn't have a steel or rock defense, but it's got HP for days, so I don't know, maybe this could work. And it almost doesn't. We avoid being crit and land a counter, putting an end to Linoon. This fight sucks. But it's ace time. His slacking is a concern, but we should be able to deal with it if we play it right. We assume that he's going for a super effective feint attack, so we swap over to Orange, who can handle that just fine. But instead he uses Facade. Now I felt we were pretty spot on there. I'm assuming the reason this happened is because the AI saw a 100% kill chance with Facade due to how low we were? Question mark? I don't know. I'm not too sure how the AI really works, and I find instances like this rather confusing. We knock off its Citrus Berry and swap over to our Coughing Durian to see how much a self-destruct would grant us. I'd count it as a loss, but we specifically brought it in with us for this exact purpose. Almost, but no dice. Coconut is the only one healthy enough to stall out, so we swap over. He goes for a yawn, and we RNG a Magnitude 8 for the finish! Badge get! We place our fruit in the bin, still not noticing my spelling error, by the way, and get going. We've got Surf now, so all of our water types feel pretty buffed. It's a shame Dragon Fruit isn't here to see it. We surf into New Mauville and grab us this lovely Magnemite that we happily named Mandarin. Our team's feeling pretty juiced.
Friends.
Afterwards, we run around doing a few errands, like grabbing Ice Beam from the sunken ship. We'll talk a bit more about it when we get there, but our goal is to eliminate a few Pokemon from our water encounters, like Whelmer and Wingull. We make our way to Fort Tree, and just past it, we run into our favorite disasterologist, Absol, whom we sacrifice Pomegranate to, in order to once again fulfill our end of the equivalent exchange. Is it cliche to name it Blackberry? Of course it is. But it doesn't matter because it's our Blackberry. Welcome aboard. We decide that in preparation for Winona's gym, that it'd probably be beneficial for us to run all the way down to Lilycove's department store. I figured it's best to take in something with Blizzard than to not. Only thing blocking our path is this final encounter with May, which should prove interesting, as this is the last and final relevant change that the ROM hack we're playing makes. It gives your rival a fully evolved starter. Now I know what you're thinking. Context. Well, for some odd reason in the original game, your rival, this far into the game by the way, doesn't have a fully evolved starter Pokemon. And this doesn't make any sense. In the context of game progression, this fight is placed between Gyms 6 and 7. Winona's Ace Mon is level 33, and Tate and Liza sit at 42. They could have easily given May a better team. I don't know what this is. We open with our Crobat Persimmon and breeze through her Tropius, Pelipper, and Ludicolo. Yeah, I know, we just want to cut straight to the starter. Give me the content. I get it, okay? She hits us with a Blaze Kick that almost knocks us. No fear, Shakespeare, we'll kill it next turn. Easy clap, we're faster anyway. Quick attack. Well, what, Persimmon? Nothing really lost or gained? I don't know. The battle was still laughably easy, but hey, we lost a Mon to the new content, so I guess that's a win, huh? Now move over, man. I'm trying to go shopping. All right, gym time. Tell me something, Winona. Hell or glory? We lead with Mandarin. The plan is to bait out Altaria, who should immediately Earthquake. Our Pelipper, Apple, makes sure that plan succeeds. And now, the Ice Beam. We barely make it out of the exchange, but now with Altaria gone, this badge is as good as ours. Badge get. Easy clap. Fast forward to us ruining Team Magma's day again and raiding Team Aqua's hideout. we surf on over to Mossdeep, and this is where the fun begins. We catch us this lovely spheal named Honeydew. The round boy is always welcome. But now that we've obtained the Super Rod from Mossdeep, we can move forward with our real plan, obtaining Starmie. Or in this case, Staryu. You see, you can only catch a Staryu by fishing in Lily Cove using a Super Rod. It's a 15% encounter rate, with Whalmer being the only other catch you'll find, hence why we made sure to catch one earlier. Now, Starmie is a key player in this. Not only is it rocking great speed, special attack, stab psychic by the way, a dream come true, but it also has the chance to come with the ability Natural Cure, which heals status conditions like poison or paralysis when it's switched out. The plus side is that it's a great mon to use against Juan's Kingdra if need be. Now we're back at it again. It's gym time. The goal here is to go in and aim straight for Claydol. We're not worried about Xatu as it can't really touch us. Lunatone can't touch us either, and Solrock just as well. This fight should be incredibly easy. We lead with Pomelo, our Sharpedo, and Blackberry. Claydol goes down, Solrock goes down, Xatu goes down, and Lunatone can't touch us. What even is this? Badge get. We shut that whole team down pretty well. Now, maybe we could have crunched the Xatu a turn or so earlier and one-shot it, but again, we weren't afraid of anybody at this point. Next, we make a Pomelo, Apple, and Blueberry smoothie and team up with our man Steven. Team Magma just can't quit, can they? The Intimidates don't matter to us since Sharpedo's moves don't take advantage of its attack stat. We make it through the swagger, but unfortunately, we lose Pomelo to Meanlook. A third unintentional loss. This one didn't bother me much, as the Meanlook was kind of unavoidable, but losing Sharpedo sucks. I was also a little confused in this moment, as I was under the impression that Meanlook's effect would go away upon the user fainting. Which it totally does. But it wasn't until editing this that I realized I sped through the text and only read Bat. And for some reason, my brain just immediately went to Golbat, when in reality, it was Crobat that used the Meanlook on me. So that's 100% on me. I absolutely should not have sped through my battle, even if it was a guaranteed win. That's a strike. You know, we're reaching the end of the game and I still haven't noticed my spelling error. Now we can move on to our final gym challenge. But first, here's a little bit that happened. Pacific Log. I thought it was Pacific Log. Is that a typo? Has it always been Pacific? I just realized I don't own a map. You hold the hell on. It's Pacific Log. Holy shit. I've been calling it Pacific Log my entire life. What in the world? What? My mind is so blown right now. Whoa. Okay. Damn. Well, I feel like your brain auto-corrects it to Pacific, right? Because, like, it's the same with Fall Arbor, right? It's Fall Arbor. But it looks like it says, if you read it quickly, you read Fall Harbor. Right? Fall Harbor Town. Fall Arbor Town. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it makes sense. I can't believe this entire time.
The only sea you're expanding is a vitamin. Out of my sight.
Anyway, so after getting upset about all that, we run off to ruin Team Aqua's day. And somehow, in all our rage, we gained the ability to predict the future. Me lose to a mere child? Listen, for as long as Ash Ketchum has been a child, my man, don't put it past anybody. Don't put it past anyone who's young in these games. A goddamn 6-year-old could be the strongest trainer in the world. You wouldn't even know. You'd have no idea. Meanwhile, you're busy like, yo, man, we're gonna flood the earth and shit. It's gonna be so sick. Just wait and see. And then it starts raining. And he's like, fuck, what did we do? I don't want to hear a word out of your mouth. Don't tell me I fucked up. I know I fucked up. Next, we ran around and did some more errands, including picking up a water stone to evolve Starfruit. It had a blue shard on it the whole time? I can't believe that. We went on like a quest For like... for like no reason, dude. Damn it. Why am I like this? It's time for our final badge. We start off with Kiwi, making quick work of his love disc and Celio. And now, Kingdra. Orange's Vital Throw never misses, so we should be good. But we have one chance to get rid of his Chesto Berry before he begins spamming Double Team. We slap it out of his hands and hit him a couple of times to proc the rest. We get 2 free bulk ups and he stays asleep for a 3rd turn. We slap him and he wakes up and panic rests. Perfect. We land a 4 times arm thrust, which at that point just give me 5. Like, just come on, guys. And end it with a final Vital Throw. Mission accomplished. The knockoff was key. We bring Kiwi back out and lay waste to his Wishcast and Crawdon, and that's it. Badge get. Praise knockoff. Dude, knockoff is OP as shit. That's the pro strats I'm talking about. We take off from Sutopolis and finally make it to Evergrande, the city of dreams, at the steps of Victory Road. Before running inside, we stop to run some more errands, stocking up on emergency TMs like Reflect and Thunder, as well as running by the game corner once again. We do a bit of prep, and it's time to delve into Victory Road. Just as we walk in, we're ambushed by Machine Gun Wally, who's apparently entered his rebellious phase. We start off with Honeydew, who destroys his Altaria and Roselia. We swap over to Mandarin to tank the upcoming lightning move and get hit with Screech instead. Wally. See, this is why we tripped you back in Mauville.
Citrus your ass
Anyway,
down.
Mandarin makes quick work of his Magneton and Delcat. It's ace time, but does that really matter? We make it through Victory Road unscathed and finally arrive at the Pokemon League. Here's where the real test begins. Now, before we dive into this, I wanted to talk about one of our Nuzlocke rules for a minute. Rare candies. The reason these are widely implemented in Nuzlockes is to eliminate grinding, basically allowing players to stay appropriately leveled throughout the game. It saves time, it's less boring to watch, and in certain games it completely removes having to use awful, poorly designed rematch systems like the Match Call. Match Call in particular being the worst in my opinion, as it's randomized and hilariously unreliable. The reason I'm bringing this up now is because we've reached a very interesting fork in the road. Prior to implementing rare candies in our run, I tried my best to see how people chose to treat the Pokemon League when using them. Now, I couldn't find anything definitive online that everyone seemed to agree on, but according to what I did find, there seemed to be 3 ways of going about this that others seem to be doing. Option 1. Continuing to level up according to the highest level Pokemon of the next available Elite Four member. Basically what we've been doing all game long. Option 2. Leveling up close to, but not passing, the highest level Pokemon of the final Elite Four member. So in this case, matching or leveling over Glacia while leaving room so as not to outlevel Drake. Option 3. Leveling up past the Elite Four members, but leaving room so as not to outlevel the champion. Now, we spent a while prepping, and in that time, I couldn't really make up my mind. I basically spun a wheel and ended up going with option 3, under the condition that in future Nuzlockes, we would try out the other options until we could determine what felt more fair. I do see in hindsight how much more of an advantage this gave us, at least level-wise. Though I would say, however, that it doesn't really make up for bad plays and decisions that are still very much possible to occur during the last chunk of a run, as well as things that are RNG dependent like crits, but I suppose that's kind of a given. Regardless, I had a great time, and I'm very proud of how well this Nuzlocke turned out. I just kind of wanted to throw that out there and sort of explain and clarify like what was going on with our team before we hopped into this. Now, onto the show. After spending over half an hour trying to calm down and come up with a rational plan for this final challenge, we walked through the door. This is it. The Elite Four. We're ready. We open Sydney's battle with Starfruit to take the Intimidate and hopefully bait out a Crunch. This is the start of where the trainer AI stops making sense to me. We swap to Orange and get Sand Attack. Not what we expected at all. Vital Throw never misses, and that's 1 down. Now, we're expecting Shiftry to come out and attempt an extra sensory. We swap to Blackberry, and he double teams. There it is again. What am I doing wrong here? Aerial Ace doesn't miss, and we get Swagger. All according to plan, as our Person Berry lets us walk away from the ailment with a free buff. And now, the sweep. 1 down, Phoebe's next. We open with Blackberry. We know Dusclops is going to spam Protect, so there's no point in trying to brute force our way through. The plan is to take advantage and spam Swords Dance as much as we can to boost the power of Shadow Ball. Now, if that sounds confusing, it's because it is. In Gen 3, the physical special split was still tied to a move's typing as opposed to its form of contact. In Gen 3, Ghost is considered a physical type. Therefore, Shadow Ball uses Absol's attack stat instead of its special attack. After just a few dances, we're maxed out, and this is a clean sweep. Not a single thing to worry about now. In prep for this, I had given Absol another Person Berry to hold in case she decided to use Confuse Ray on me, but once Protect was done, she used Shadow Punch instead. I even replaced Bite with Thief in case I needed to steal her Ace Dusclops Citrus Berry and Emergency Heal. Oh well, at least we're prepared. 2 down and Glacia's next. We open with Mandarin and make short work of her Celio and Walrein.
OJ in the fridge.
Her ace is dead.
Walrein in a dish.
Although, I should point out, if that Surf she used had crit, this would have been a completely different story. Walrein's a bit bulky, so this is pretty common footage. But I would like to add that this could also be an instance of us being leveled highly without having the EVs that normally accompany grinding.
Keep
I don't know.
me in, coach.
Food for thought.
I can do this all
Next is
day.
Glalie, whom we're not too concerned with. Mandarin fails to deal with it completely, so we swap over to Orange to finish the job. Her Ice shouldn't do much with Orange's Thick Fat, and her Celio can't use Attract, so we're in the clear with this one. All we have to hope for is no freeze and that we dodge or outlive a potential explosion, which, despite getting her to almost 0, she refused to use. And that's it. 3 down, on to Drake. We've given Starfruit our extra Ice Beam to mow down his team, and boy did we. We annihilated them. I'm still surprised that we one-shot his Salamence. I was expecting it to at least barely survive. We'll take it, though. Last is his Kingdra, which should be the most frustrating part of this fight. We spam Psychic over and over, waiting for a special defense drop that just never comes, and at this point, I'm worrying about his Kingdra setting up one too many Dragon Dances. And then he wastes his now visibly insane speed on Smokescreen, and we steal the win. At this point, you're just handing this to us. The Elite Four has been defeated, and it's time for the champion. We've made it so far. In fact, this is the farthest we've ever come. Our last playthrough ended at Drake. This feels really, really good right now. All right, no more delay. It's all or nothing, Wallace. We open with Mandarin. As well, it doesn't look too big to us.
I'm juiced and ready
Easy.
to throw down.
He then sends out Gyarados. I'm confused by this choice, though I should have known it was a trick, because he used that confusion to his advantage,
Bring it
and
on.
I completely forgot that his Gyarados had
Oh, God.
Earthquake.
I didn't vitamin C that coming.
We lose Mandarin.
Our starfish glows with an awesome power. Avenge me, my brother.
In the name of our citrus brother, we send out Starfruit, who we've replaced Ice Beam for Thunderbolt. This is for Mandarin. Next up is his Ludicolo. Expecting a Giga Drain, we swap over to Kiwi. Instead, we avoid a Leech Seed. He shouldn't use either now, and Surf won't do much to us, so his only option should be to double team. Blackberry's Aerial Ace should do the trick. We nail the Predict and land the crit? Let's go! And now Tentacruel. At this point, we can't figure out what Tentacruel would use on us. His Toxic Mist giving us a Swords Dance. We trade blows, somehow surviving that Hydro Pump. We end up swapping back to Starfruit to Psychic our way through him. Milotic is sent out next. We test its resilience to our Thunderbolt and get bullied off the field. In our final move, we swap over to Kiwi, who Leaf Blades our problems away, and that's GG! Ah, I'm so done! We fucking did it! Woo! Oh man, it's over! It's so over! We finally did it! Mandarin, the Magneton, Honeydew, the Walrein, Blackberry, the Absol, Orange, the Hariyama, Starfruit, the Starmie, and Kiwi, our Sceptile. Team Fruit prevails! And good old Trainer Joule at the center of it all. First thing I want to say, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I sincerely appreciate it. This is the first time I've ever made a full-blown YouTube video like this, so if you dug it, please let me know. One of my goals in 23 was I wanted to finally make use of this YouTube channel and start posting things on it that weren't just, music videos. So, if you liked what you saw today, hey, maybe stick around, maybe subscribe if you haven't, and look forward to cool stuff like this in the future. It's gonna be a wild ride, and I can't wait to see where the rest of this year takes us. Anyways, that's it for me. Thank you all for watching. If you're interested in potentially catching stuff like this live while it's happening, I'll have links below in the description for my Twitch. That way you can come check it out and say hi. Anyways, take care.